everyone, Angel, your real estate guardian here. Welcome to another Space Coast Spotlight. This one's going to be a little bit different because I was not able to go out and pinpoint a single area to give them a spotlight. This week's been kind of crazy between client appointments, kids appointments, and everything being jumbled up together. So what I'm going to do is kind of do a broad Space Coast Spotlight. I'm going to pick a few places that me and my family love to frequent. Now, this list in no way, shape, or form is a ranking system or anything like that. This is purely my opinion. And you're going to notice that it's going to be geared towards family because as a father of three, that's kind of my number one priority. If we're going to go out as a family unit, we're going to want to pick a place that is going to suit everybody. So hopefully you'll find some use in this, find some places to go if you haven't already, or reinforce these places that you do love to go and revisit them again. All right, let's get to it. All right, so the first place we're gonna pick, I'm already gonna start cheating a little bit. It's actually multiple places. It's the bowling alleys around the Space Coast. Me personally, we like River Lanes. That's the one we go to all the time. It's near and dear to me and my family's heart. Sunday special, you'll see me there every single Sunday, more than likely. And believe it or not, they have a really good restaurant inside. The wings, second to none. I'll definitely vouch for those wings. But there's a lot of sporting in the Space Coast. Obviously, you can find anything from leisurely sports, such as golf, bowling, and things that are kind of low impact, to your high impact football. You've got baseball, you've got softball, soccer, anything you can think of, the Space Coast has to offer. For me and my family personally, we love bowling. So River Lanes in Titusville, you also have Shore Lanes down by Merritt Island, and there's quite a few other ones. But that's gonna be the first place I mentioned. If you like to bowl, we've got plenty. It's to the point where sometimes, I would actually venture to say most times, if you're thinking of an evening of bowling, I suggest you give a call ahead and see if the lanes are available. That's how packed these places get. It's to the point where you might arrive and they tell you, hey, there's a 30-minute wait line, or there's a 45-minute wait line for the lanes. Because people love bowling around here, and you can't blame, bowling is fun. So try to check out some of the bowling alleys around the Space Coast. The next spot on our list is gonna be the Brevard Zoo. This is another place that me and my family love to frequent. They have a variety of species, from large cats to small marsupials, primates. I mean, you name it, they got it. They also have a feeding section for the giraffes, which is just hilarious. If you ever want a highlight for your videos, go ahead and record a small child feeding a giraffe. When that big, giant, dark tongue comes out and grabs the lettuce, it's always, the look on their face is always a good one for videos and such. They also have zip line trails, they have hiking trails or kind of canopy trails along the zoo itself. So it's a great place to be. I definitely highly recommend it if you're with a family. It's usually good when it comes to traffic. You don't find that many lines, stuff like that. And even if you have smaller kids, they have a petting zoo section. They have a butterfly section that's super fun. They have a bird feeding section where you walk in with some bird feed, either in the form of nectar or little sticks with some treats for them. And they just come fly to you, land on your arm, take the little nibbles and stuff and fly away. I mean, it's great fun. It's super good times for kids. If you have much smaller kids, we're talking from the 2 to 3 toddler age range, they also have this little water section where the kids can just have a blast. It's like a splash pad for the children inside the zoo. So you can walk around, take a look at all the animals, take a look at all the exhibits, and then have yourself some fun on the splash pad with the little ones. So Brevard Zoo, another great place to spend a time and family here on the Space Coast. Moving right along on our list, the next place to spotlight is the museums around here. There's a few smaller museums and obviously the big one. But they're a good place to stop at. So you have, your Warbird Museum, which is a great place if you're an aviation fan. You're gonna find plenty of information and good stuff there. The Police Hall of Fame is another neat one. They got a couple of really old cop cars, and it shows some of the history of the law enforcement here on Space Coast and Brevard. And then obviously the most famous one, the Kennedy Space Center, which, I mean, if you've got kids, hello, it's a space museum. They're definitely gonna have fun. I know museums and kids don't always get along, but the Kennedy Space Center really shines when it has, their interactive things. They have plenty of guides that can answer so many questions. And, as a kid, who's not gonna be impressed by seeing a gigantic shuttle right there before your eyes, or a giant rocket right there before your eyes? When I was a child, I lived in Puerto Rico, and they had a space museum, which was one of my favorite places to go visit, because again, it was just such a overwhelming feeling when you're standing next to a giant rocket looking upwards I mean, I love my kids getting that feeling here on the Space Coast, where all the rocket launches happen. And it's pretty neat for them to go see a shuttle, go see a rocket, and then when you do have a rocket launch, they go out and see, and they're, you know, put two and two together. Obviously, they don't look the same anymore because all of the advancements in technology, but it does give them that connection, and they, trust me, they love it. As a father of three, that's one of our places to go, the Kennedy Space Center. Alrighty, next one on the list is going to be taking advantage of the natural wildlife. Now, by natural wildlife, I don't mean the Brevard Zoo, as I just mentioned before, but I mean wildlife right in your backyard. If you like bird watching, there's bird watching trails. There's plenty of species around here, like your red cardinals, your blue jays. You also have some hawks around here that are awesome to watch. There's also plenty of reserves with natural wildlife like deer. There have been some black bear spottings. And of course, you got your smaller critters like your possums, your raccoons, your armadillos. And obviously the biggest natural wildlife that we have here at the Space Coast would be the fish life. You know, you've got river fishing, you've got canal fishing, you've got fishing right off of the shore, whether your take is to catch and release or catch for dinner. You have the options here. I mean, right off of our coast, we have some of the most delicious fish in the world. We're talking dolphin fish, also known as mahi-mahi, not a literal dolphin. We just call it dolphin fish around here. It's a mahi-mahi. Got your king mackerel, your wahoo, yellowfin tuna. If you drop down to a wreckage or a coral, you can, you know, grab some snapper, red snapper if it's in season. There's plenty of delicious fish. If you're fishing off of the beach itself, if you have the equipment, you can catch yourself some pompano, which is one of the most delicious tasting fish that you can ever have, right off of your backyard. So obviously, if you're an angler, you probably already know, but if you didn't, let me be the first to let you know, the Space Coast has everything you can think of when it comes to fishing. And last but not least, you knew it was coming. I had to mention it, the beaches. How are you gonna talk about the Space Coast and not mention the beaches? All the way to the top, one of the most famous beaches you can think of, Daytona Beach. It's got so many activities, so many amenities, and so many attractions. It's constantly busy, not to mention when spring break happens. That's a party capital right there. A little bit further south than that, you got the Ponce Inlet. Not so well known, but it is a gorgeous beach with really flat sands that extends really long into the ocean itself. So when you have smaller kids, there's a lot, real estate, pun intended, for them to play around without having to be inside of deep waters or anything like that. Here around Titusville, you've got your Playa Linda. You also got New Smyrna Beach right there close to each other. Those are two very, very popular beaches to go visit. We personally have the annual pass for the Playa Linda one. I mean, we go all the time. We just absolutely love it. Going a little bit further than that, you've got a beach that has, brought us arguably one of the most famous and influential surfers in the world of surfing, Kelly Slater. Now, not to take away from any other surfers, obviously everybody, their credit is due, but when you ask somebody who's not an avid surfer, hey, name me a famous surfer, they're gonna say Kelly Slater. Just like when you ask somebody, hey, name me a famous skateboarder, they're more than likely gonna say Tony Hawk. It's just that level of recognition. But you've got Cocoa Beach, which is a very busy beach. It's always got lots of shops, lots of music, lots of people, lots of sounds. It's a great place to be if you're looking for that kind of an experience, not a quiet day on the beach, but an entertaining day on the beach. You've got Cocoa Beach, and you can keep going. I mean, Sebastian Inlet, very well known for its fishing, one of the most popular places for anglers to go visit. The Space Coast, when it comes to beaches, we've got the pick of the litter. And I just wanted to make this video and bring some information to you guys, bring some lesser known, bring some already known, and just kind of hopefully bring something that you can find or rediscover here on the Space Coast. As you guys know, I upload these every single Friday, the Space Coast Spotlights. We'll see what we'll get into next week. I'll hopefully bring you something interesting. But if you guys do find any value in these videos of bringing you information and showing you places to go and enjoy with your family, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, do anything and everything you can. I would really greatly appreciate it. But other than that, this has been Angel, your real estate guardian. Give me a call.